And welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off. We're here reviewing movies at Ruby Cinepom, our customary home. I'm Jeff Weiss with MSN Entertainment.
And I'm Jimmy Martin with Slug Magazine. You can find Big Movie Mouth Off on Xfinity Channel 6, also on their on-demand system, Salt Lake On Demand, Sunday Utah On Demand, Salt Lake Alternative, let's get that right around. And it's right in there. All these reviews waiting for you, pretty much from Blu-ray, if it's already been on Blu-ray, up to now. So if you missed it, go check it out, it's fine. And also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BigMovieMouthOff, you can find free movie passes to pretty much everything. It's amazing!
Maybe you found our page to get into our screening of the movie that we're reviewing now, Mama. Produced with a heavy hand and contributions by Guillermo del Toro, who found the original short film that this film was actually based on. Basically, the idea is two little girls were lost in the woods for 5 years.
It's a long time.
Now they're feral. Now that they've been found, they've been put in the care of their uncle, Nicholas Coster-Waldau from Game of Thrones.
Say that 3 times fast.
That 3 times fast. And Jessica Chastain, a nearly unrecognizable Jessica Chastain.
Tattoos.
She's a short-haired, dark-haired rocker.
She's not the redhead.
When they sort of try to integrate them into the home, find resistance from these girls who've been in the wild, been raised by some sort of supernatural force, which begins slowly manifesting and doing sort of creepy things.
Victoria and Lily were found in deplorable conditions. Their parents gone. Alone in the wilderness for at least 5 years.
Hey, Victoria.
How they survived is unexplainable.
I'm your daddy's brother. Remember Uncle Luke?
With a loving family environment, Victoria and Lily have a real chance at a normal life.
You sure about this?
Nope.
Hey, girls.
There's no way these girls are ready for this. And there is no way that I am ready for this.
How have they been affected?
They talk to the walls.
And what did they say? It'll get better. Promise.
I think someone's coming to visit them.
I'd like you to tell me about Mama.
No. What's wrong? I don't want you to get hurt. You guys know what time it is?
Don't go in the closet.
Why not? What's in the closet?
Is she here in this house?
You know, first thing I want to say about this film is that I love a good horror film, and I love it when, and it's kind of sad nowadays. I get really excited when it's not a found footage horror film,
Right.
Because that's all we're getting nowadays, or just the Texas Chainsaw and the Saw films, you know, which aren't horrible, well, they kind of are, but it's just a good, solid horror film that's not found footage, and that's what this does for the first hour.
Absolutely.
Like that, it's terrifying. I mean, there's things where I was like, huh, no, yeah, like, you know, just creepy kids and great performances. We're still rocking this, you know, these child performances from 2012 because these two little girls are fantastic.
Especially the 6-year-old.
Yeah,
especially
it's just,
the 6-year-old.
They scared the hell out of me.
Who walks like an... And if I can sell this film for one scene, trackers have found the girls in an abandoned cabin, one of them, the older ones, standing on top of the refrigerator, wild. All of a sudden, the little one crawls out between her legs and goes...
It's actually
just
really
a scene
creepy.
For that scene.
It's creepy watching you do that too. But
And by the way, if you had any doubts about Jessica Chastain, have none. This is so completely different from her performance in Zero Dark 30. Again, nearly unrecognizable, and she's got great chemistry with these girls because she's not biologically related to these kids, and yet, as weird and wild as they are, she starts to have a motherly relationship, a believable motherly relationship, which makes it inconvenient, of course, when the title character or creature shows up.
Like I said though, the first hour, rock
Terrific.
solid,
Yes.
and it kind of goes on to that thing with me with horror films, especially with horror films, where less is more.
Right.
Because it's that creepy, crawling past the camera real fast, or something off in the distance, or a silhouette in the background. Those parts are just absolutely terrifying. It's when they start lingering on our, I'd say, title character, that then you're like, okay, this looks kind of corny.
Yes.
And then the tone kind of shifts from, I would say, horror to more of a horror fantasy. And it loses its tone from the first 2/3 of the film, and for me does not work.
Absolutely. And I hate to point the finger at him, but Del Toro had a really strong hand in this film's development and in its writing. And I think this film tries too hard to have that Guillermo del Toro horror ending.
It does. It's more...
Which is weird because the final 40 minutes or so actually feel like 2 reels of a really bad Tim Burton film got spliced in.
Yeah, it really does. It's got that kind of Alice in Wonderlandy feel.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what happened to the first film we were watching?
The fun horror film and not this dopey fantasy.
Well, you say dopey, and I don't think it's awful. It just doesn't belong in that film.
No.
If that's the tone you're going for, fine. But like to try to integrate that into to me a really scary film doesn't work, and it loses all of it, all of what you built upon. And then the credits roll, and you're kind of like, it's like I always say, you walk out with that sour taste in your mouth, And so I had to kind of rethink that one and go, no, the first 2/3 is really, really good and rock solid, but it's just that ending that's just, I don't know where you were going with that one.
It's off. It's off. By the way, let me suggest also that you try and find the original short film that this is based on, because a lot of the creepy imagery from this film actually crops up in that. But even scarier. Although, again, especially for a PG-13 horror film, this has its share of creepiness and scariness, at least in the first hour. For the first hour, 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
I guess the equation I'm making is first half of the movie 3 stars, second half of the movie 1 star. You get almost.
And a little bit for child performances and Jessica Chastain. I think I'm right there with. I think about 2.5. It's about right. It's not awful.
Yeah. And I look forward to what this guy does in the future.
Yeah, I mean, this guy knows how to do a horror film. I'll tell you that. So maybe stick to your own ideas, and I hate to say
Stick to your convictions.
Well, I hate to say stay away from Guillermo, but I think you guys had 2 different visions on this one.
Clearly.
So not awful. Not awful. That's okay though.
Watchable.
Horror films can go much, much worse. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. Again, check us out in all of our endeavors, and we'll catch you back next time.